I honestly thought for the first time ever, that was it. We're driving down south. Now there's all these palm trees, and he just says, turn on their left, mate. And as we're going, it was getting darker and darker and darker. It was like really scary looking place, because he had a police scanner with him as well in the front seat, and he just kept on looking at me. He said, "Hey, stop the car." And that's right, someone jumped out the back of behind a tree trunk.
Well, that's where they do you.
I had a recording device on, and I was talking to the recording device, saying who had done this in case they found me later.
Todd Maguire built a life around a lie, a false identity so convincing it had to hold up under pressure most of us will never face. Surrounded by people who would have killed him if they'd known the truth. In part 2 of my chat with Todd, we go further into the undercover policing investigations he was involved in, the criminals he had befriended, and the personal cost that came with all of it. Have a listen. This is part 2 of I Catch Killers, and I'm with Todd Maguire, former undercover cop with Queensland Police, or am I with Donnie, or a new little character that you've invented, Reno? For those that listen to, I should welcome you back.
Thank you.
Todd, Reno,
It's great to be
Donnie.
back. Yes,
Yeah.
one of them.
It's interesting that you there's other characters, like we've talked about Donnie in part 1, and you've got a new character, and we'll talk how that came about. But how would you differ Donnie and Reno? What's the difference in the characters?
Yeah, Reno was probably even worse than Donnie. So when I started writing the book,
Yeah.
it wasn't until I was, putting it on paper, and then I was reading it back going, shit, I think that's when Reno or Donnie was at his lowest.
Right.
Real big time. Like, I remember personally, I couldn't sleep at night. I was up in Bundaberg. The place that I lived in was a fortress, but I had the worst panic attacks trying to go to sleep. My heart rate pounding through the roof. I was seeing things. I was turning over, and
This was when you're in the Reno role.
Yeah.
I'll just read out an extract from the book talking about Reno. The machete was suddenly at Reno's throat, cold steel pressing against his skin, the edge trembling in Lance's white-knuckled grip. Reno didn't flinch. He couldn't. His heart jackhammered in his chest. But his face stayed blank, calm. The only thing that moved was a bead of sweat trailing down his temple. Lance's eyes twitched. "You're lying to me. I can see it." Okay, now
He was right, wasn't he?
he was right. Let's talk about Reno, how he came to be. Let's talk about how Reno found himself in that situation and what case you were working at that
cool.
time.
So Reno was basically, Donnie was going up to Bundaberg to do another job after he'd done a few in Caboolture and Brisbane, a few other things. Donnie was quite happy to go up there as Donnie, but then there was some bit of intelligence to say that, some of the crooks from the Caboolture job overlap here, and, even though there was no social media, if the name Donnie came up, that would be like, hang on, Donnie was involved in what was going on.
And by that time it had gone
It
out.
already closed.
Donnie was a UC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
knew that the Donnie was the undercover cop.
Yeah.
So, so my hierarchy said, no, you're going to have a new name for this one. I said,
Did you want to give up, Donnie?
No.
Yeah.
And I went, I just, I really got used to being called Donnie, answering to the name without fletching, anything. Like having a go, like that was almost 12 months of getting used to it. And then all of a sudden I had to do it properly again. I was like, oh man, I don't know I can do this. And I think that identity crisis, along with everything else, really confused me.
So now you're playing with 3. You got Todd.
I had to put Donnie to sleep for 3 months.
Then you've lost your best mate Donnie, and now you've become Reno.
Yeah.
I can see why it puts you in a head spin.
Yeah. And I think that's, even when as I said, writing the book, you could tell that's when my brain was really struggling.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not unusual to say that it probably came along with the alcohol and drug abuse, which probably made it worse.
Yeah. And that was now the alcohol and drug abuse. Did that happen because of the nature of the work you were doing, or you would have found your way that way anyway?
I was still doing it from Karen,
mindset that you're in.
Yeah.
Before we get on to Reno and that particular investigation, after Donnie, the job that you were talking about at Caboolture, came to a conclusion, do they give you some downtime? Do they let you clear your head and
you do sometimes,
become normal again?
It's just by luck. If there's no jobs on the horizon, happy days. But if there's a heap come through, you're either doing back to back, or sometimes I did 2 jobs at once. That was confusing.
Running different phones and yeah.
Okay,
so with Reno, describe him in more detail.
Yeah, so
what role were you playing?
So I'd already been up there for a couple of weeks as Donnie, and then all of a sudden had to change whole thing to Reno.
Did you change your appearance?
No.
Right.
No, I still look pretty bad. So Donnie, or Reno, was sent up to Bundaberg because there was a murder of an English backpacker, Caroline Stuttle, and she was walking over the Burnet Bridge late at night, and it was like a bit of a robbery. They took a handbag, and they pushed her over. There was no leads at all. There was just whispers. Small town. The detectives were, shaking everything they can. These same names kept on coming up. They're involved somehow. Don't know how, but we need to find out. So enter Donnie, or now Reno. Had an informant. He was pretty rotten. Couldn't trust him, but I didn't have any other choice. So he's invited me out to his place, and one of the crooks, Lance, who we wanted to befriend, that was our introduction. And as I'm going through this dirt road, 45 minutes from Bundaberg, up near Gin, it's a dirt road. Look at my phone. There's no range. Like, that's useless. Bye-bye. I pulled up at this dirt road, just a real old, rural sort of farming house type thing. But because I did pit bull fighting as well. So you could set the scene, yeah, pretty cool. Like car bodies everywhere.
I know the places. I'm picturing the place.
There's
and
so many.
Just a place just a place you don't want to be, and you don't want to be when you turn up in force with marked police vehicles. You don't want to be out there on your own, undercover.
Yep. So I got out, and there was something like 4 dogs, with a metal 6-foot-inch stake and a chain. And you should see what they'd done to the ground. Just running around so
savage
much.
Pit bulls.
And all they were doing was dying to get off to get me. Yeah. That was probably one of the scariest things. I tried to get through them up to the house. Can't help. That was like, I was already on my jitters already, but I'd always have an overproof rum and cola, have 2 or 3 before I go into a house. Just settles the nerves.
Settles the nerves, but do you think it also plays the character that you're meant to play?
Yeah, I'd probably smell on my breath. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, mate.
They want you to stink of smokes and and rotting alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's coming out of the pores of your skin, and that'll make them feel more at home in that environment.
But as I was going up, old mate had taken the bolt out the back.
Yeah.
He got paranoid and somehow thought I was a copper. For some reason, he saw the car coming up. He said, "That's a copper. That's a copper. Don't trust you." So he's ran out into the bush.
And that's the paranoia these dudes have. Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know if he had it with him or it was old mates, but he had a slasher. Yeah, a slasher. It was like like an old slasher that back in the old days, the old fellas, that's how they would have cut the cane.
Yeah.
And anyway, he's just running through the bush, getting out of there. He's just cutting it, going through. And like, old mate's yelling out to him, "He's not a copper, get back here." Took about 30 minutes to get him back. He finally came back. And he goes, "You sure?" Yeah, I said, "Oh, hey, mate, fuck." And I said, "Mate, I've known this for a bloke for a year. He can vouch for me." And he goes, "This fucking..."
Yeah.
He goes, "He'd sell his mother out." He was right. So, yeah, he still lost his shit for a bit. And he's like walking around, "Who knows you? Tell some one bloke that tell me that knows you that can vouch for you apart from this fuckwit." Like, it was a good one. He really gave it to me.
How did you respond to that?
Well, that's where, at stages he had it up against he could tell he's never going to use it. It was just to threaten me. And I think it was one of those old ones that had that much rust. It probably wouldn't have done anything anyway. But anyway, he's just ripping into me, and I'm going, "Mate, I'll go, mate. I don't need this shit. Fuck off, blah, blah, blah." He's still going off. I could see that he was obviously affected by speed. So I said, "Hey, let's have a bong." So I think one of us started up a bong, and I've just put it in front of his face. "Oh, okay, yep."
Yeah.
That settled him down. It was amazing.
And that part of that is because I know the thought is with the crooks that a cop's not going to take the drugs and all that. And it's exceptional circumstances in which you've got to. But gone are the days. Keith Banks that we've had on here and we've spoken about. He got my interest before I became friends with him, talking about the first line of coke he had was with a loaded shotgun pointed at his head. And, these are the type of things that you got to do. So,
I never got threatened and said, "You have to do this."
Yeah.
But I was in a situation that if I didn't, it wouldn't have looked good.
No. Mm. And I think people have got to appreciate where you are in that, the location, the geography of it. Like, no one phone signal, actually, and you're out there on your own. So you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. So how did that all play out? Did he settle down?
Yeah. The worst part about it, I wasn't a big smoker. You don't. It wasn't something before Undercover I sort of was in. Yeah. And this was probably one of my first times of having a real good smoke session going around and around and around. I was so fucked. I couldn't handle it. I was out. I sort of just went back into the couch and I was just worried. I was hoping that recording device wasn't shown somewhere. And I kept on saying, I don't even know why, but I was so out of it, just saying, "Fuck off, cunt." I was just saying, just giving it to him. I said, "I don't need your business, get off." And I just kept on saying, "No, I'm going. I don't need your shit." And I kept on doing that. And, once they sort of think you're losing you, I just had to make sure you weren't a cop. I said, "No, fuck you. No, fuck off."
Were you doing that consciously or were you so stoned? Because,
And I just didn't react. Like I was calm because I was so stoned.
Do you think the fact that you didn't give a stuff about yourself made it an easier job for you to do?
Yeah.
Like if your life was all rosy and you're thinking, "Well, I'm going to lose this if this goes bad," but it sounds like you just had reckless abandonment.
Yeah, I did.
In the type of stuff that you were doing.
I was grieving so hard that I didn't know what to do. Yeah. And that just felt the best way to do it. Yeah.
What? How did that job play out? Because that was trying to get some information about a murder, about an unsolved murder. How far did you go with that job?
No, we didn't. They weren't involved. They were two that were under the bridge and doing a drug deal and saw it happen, but they weren't going to tell cops.
They weren't involved.
So they weren't the ones that did it, but they were witnesses. So the detectives were very close in terms that their names keep coming up. Yeah, but they weren't the ones that did it. So they ended up getting another fella for it, and he no relation, no whatever. Yeah, but he was an addict and just wanted her money, and there was no connection there at all. But yeah, interesting.
Did after that one, did you put Reno to bed?
Yeah, what we did was there's another story of when Reno was really bad. Yeah, like I was drinking a couple of bottles of rum a day,
and just so people know, we're not bipolar when we're talking about all these people. We're talking about the character that you're playing undercover. Reno being one and Donnie the other one.
Yeah, Donnie will come back soon. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So Reno.
Maybe we're being up to something we shouldn't before we sat down. Yeah.
So Reno would need, a bottle or two of rum a day at night, temazepam, cannabis, orders just to go to sleep, which meant that it just wasn't going well. The brain wasn't working properly.
Yeah.
You know, these two fellas had, rumoured to have broken into a gun shop. So I then went over to their place and said, I had a knife that I had and gave it to them, and then we started throwing it against walls, and as those dickheads do, And then I said, have you got a bang? Any guns? I said, yeah. That's when they took us out to the bush. And but as I was driving through the streets, I thought I saw Karen. I was 100% sure it was her. I stopped the car, left it running, door open, middle of the street, and I ran down the street trying to chase her.
Yeah.
And like these two crooks are going, what the fuck is he doing?
Well, the craziness that you are in that, like with the drugs and the alcohol and then the trauma that you've unprocessed trauma, you were like a crazy man.
Yeah.
Like jumping out thinking you've seen Karen.
When I got to her, no, we're not. I wasn't like her at all.
That might have fitted. Okay, this bloke's as crazy as we are. It might have made you.
Yeah.
So when you went to get the guns, that was another. And this is like there's pressures working in a city, but there's also pressures working rural. And when you're driving down dirt tracks looking for to buy a gun off someone, it's a pretty worrying. Yeah, your warning signs would be going off, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to tell my controller that we were moving from the house to an location. I couldn't tell him. I couldn't get the text out or whatever because it was like, ready to go now. And we all went out together, jumped in the car.
Yeah.
Fuck. I went, I'll just have to wing it.
Yeah.
So we're driving down south. Now there's all these palm trees and he just says, turn on their left, mate. Okay. And as we're going, it was getting darker and darker and darker. It was like really scary looking place, just even on its own. And as we got out there, because he had a police scanner with him as well in the front seat, and he just kept on looking at me. And I'm going, he's good. He's good, this fella. Anyway, so as we got out there, he sort of stop the car, and that's right. Someone jumped out the back of behind a tree trunk, like someone's already waiting out there. So. Okay, this is a bit of a stitch up. Yeah, this is where I went, okay, I'm out of here. Anyway, they wouldn't let me go. I go, no, you came out here to get them. And that's where I honestly thought for the first time ever, that was it.
Yeah.
They found out there was a cop and they're coming to bury me out here.
Well, that's where they do you.
I honestly thought that was it, yeah. Especially when I saw the bloke come from there and they went, hello, mate, how you going? So, yeah, I was just trying to avoid it, like going, mate, I got some piss in the back, let's have a drink, I don't even want the guns anymore, fuck them. No, you're getting them. And that's, I had a recording device on and I was talking to the recording device saying who had done this in case they found me later and there was still a recording, under the dirt, maybe 6 months later, 12 months later, at least they wouldn't get away with it. So I must have sounded like a madman, like who am I talking to? Yeah. But as this fella was walking around hundreds of metres away, like trying to find, no, it's not underneath this tree. Every time I heard it, I was like, fucking hell. And he goes, I found it. I went, oh, thank fuck. No, I went, hang on. What's he doing over there? Come on, let's go. And I honestly thought as I got around out the corner of the tree, there'd be a hole dug for me or something.
Yeah.
I sort of closed my eyes type thing, waiting for it. Boom. There's a duffel bag full of guns.
Right.
Exactly how he said it was going to be.
What time? And this is in the middle of the night? This is
probably 4 or 5 in the arvo.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he says, which ones do you want? I said, all of them. Yeah, no, you can only take 2. All the rest are already, saved for. So I ended up buying the 2 Rugers that are on the in the book and on the cover of the book as well.
they're the 2. Right.
Yeah.
So what happened after that? You went, you bought the guns. You got back safely, obviously.
Yep. So in the meantime, what was happening with the informant? There was a detective from the drug squad kept on coming up and standing over him and saying, "You work for me now. You don't talk to the detectives in Bundaberg." And he just didn't do a good thing, and it was he was starting to make some noises that, there could be an undercover in town. You don't know.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And the other whispers we're getting back, and like my informant was getting calls at midnight from this old mate and his mates in the background. He said, you could tell they're drunk, but they were saying, we'll kill you, you're dead if you don't do what we do. And he's going, mate, I'm out, I want out of this. And it took me ages to get him back on. That was took me a month or two, and he's going, no, this is scaring the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And this detective has just stuffed it big time. It got that bad where, they said, you know what, we're going to cut our losses and go. We're out.
Yeah. So
my boss, my controller said, we're hitting the road at midnight tonight, be ready, keys out, all that sort of stuff. Yep. And it was like, that night, we're out. So I went and paid my last rents and all that sort of bullshit, and packed my car, goes over and sees him. I go, we'll drive out together. And he goes, hang on, do you still remember where the guns are? I went, I think so. He goes, let's try and find the rest of them, take them. Seize them.
Well, you can't have guns out on the street.
Well, we did. We got them.
We got them,
and it was pretty scary at midnight doing it.
Yeah.
But we found it. Took me ages, and returned all the guns.
Oh, well, that
was something.
I think getting guns off the street, because we know the damage that one gun can do. So that makes it rewarding. You mightn't have got the breakthrough with the murder investigation, but you got to try these things. On operations like that, they put you up in accommodation, like you got accommodation, because it might, I dare say, get to the point where one of the blokes that you're befriending might say, well, let's catch up, or I'll come to your place, and just want to suss your place out. So do you have to keep a place that you could let someone in, and it looks like this is the type of place Reno would live in, or Donnie would live in? Yeah,
if there's anything else that I need of my personal stuff, you leave it at the controller's house.
Right, okay. So you are really embracing the whole lifestyle. Yeah,
I did a job in the Valley
where
they put me up in a unit at Kangaroo Point. It was beautiful.
Yep.
I suggested as the job went on that I needed like a female with me.
Oh, is this Liz?
Yeah, Liz.
Yeah. Okay.
And it ended up being it was going. It worked perfectly.
Yeah.
But our persona as well was to be boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah.
Living in this high rise.
Yeah.
Where we invited them all over, and pre-drinks before we went out, and we even had like a pretend engagement party.
Yeah, tell us about that, because that was this is away from the rural areas or the smaller towns and
back in the city,
ice heads and everything else that you're dealing with there. No wonder you suggested let's do a job this way. So where did you have your apartment? And
there's a Kangaroo Point.
Yeah, okay. On the coast.
Yeah,
very nice. Yeah. And what was your role there? What crime were you trying to target?
MDMA pills, just in the nightclubs in the Valley.
Yeah. And that would have been fairly rampant.
It was, but
how did Donnie or Reno fit in?
Not good, because Donnie looked like a bikie. He looked like a rural, rough sort of bloke, and it was just a cold start. There was no, informants or anything like that. And the first one that I went to was a very well known gay place, but I didn't attract too many people that night. For some reason, I would hit up so many people about, you got any drugs? Fuck no.
But that's not the type of person that would
I looked
be.
out. I looked out of place, and that's where I went. I did 2 weekends of doing it. I got nothing. And I went, can we bring Liz in?
They don't like Donnie in this place.
I think they would have been scared of him.
So you bring Liz in, and you're playing. She's playing your lady.
Yeah.
And what are you playing? The tough guy.
Yeah, I was
gangster,
the heavy, just sitting in the corner.
And she's the she would
go.
Okay. So that fitted more into that environment.
Yeah, I was just that gruff bloke in the corner.
Yep.
Just keeping an eye on her, making sure she's all right.
Yeah.
And then she'd come back. She goes, "I've got 1,000 pills." It's like next thing I did 2 weekends of doing it, getting nothing.
Yeah.
She comes back within an hour of 1,000 pills.
So that you had a lot of success with that, and as you said, like you'd have people back to your apartment. You were forming friendships.
Yeah.
And just living the lifestyle. Did you lose yourself in the lifestyle? Because that's a fun lifestyle, and if you think you're living that lifestyle for a good reason, I would imagine it was a good time.
There was many times where I used to say, I can see why these bloody, these kingpins live like this.
Yeah,
it feels good.
Because you're not sitting in a busted out lounge out the back of Queensland somewhere smoking a dirty bong in an orchie bottle. Yeah.
In fact, as you know, as a copper, that's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
There's some hazards to that job.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that shit.
Yeah. So how long did the operation run with you and Liz for?
Only about 3 months.
When the operation was up and you had to declare that these people that you've been hanging around with were because once they start selling drugs, you've got them.
Yeah.
How did you feel with that? Because I would imagine there's a bit of we all know there's bad crooks. There's other crooks that, for whatever reason, have found themselves in a lifestyle, and people that there's some good in people that do some bad things. Did you feel any guilt or remorse that you had to betray them?
No, I never did. I knew I was doing it.
Yep.
I felt a little bit bad for myself, a little bit, but I certainly didn't dwell on it.
Yeah,
I didn't care too much.
You were a bit driven as well because of what happened to Karen, and you attribute the ecstasy pill that might have played a part.
I still think it might have, might have done something to her serotonin levels or whatever, and just made her do something that she would never have done. But so I did have that in the back of my mind, like, I want to get rid of this. I don't want to do that anymore. I want them off the streets. But what I did notice was, when you go from speed cooks, shooting up, heroin deals, and then you're doing MDMA people. Yeah. There's no criminal history there. There's nothing. They're just normal people. Yeah. They work in a hairdresser or a bank or whatever, and they're just doing that shit on the weekends.
It's a cautionary tale. It's a cautionary tale for people. I've had people that sit in that chair that start off, they're just using party drugs, and then they start buying more party drugs, and then they start giving some of the party drugs to their friends, and before they know it, they're dealing drugs and don't realise the ramifications. You can see how people fall into it.
Exactly.
That. So when the game was up, what happened with Lorenzo?
Yeah, well, as they do, they ask for a confrontation where, as an undercover, you can go in. If that person doesn't believe that person's sold to an undercover, we come in and go, "Hey mate, I'm Donnie. You bastard." Yeah. He didn't do that, which was good. He admitted to it all. And he was probably one of the ones where I went, he didn't deserve that, but he was a good bloke, never been in trouble his whole life, but just had a marriage breakdown.
Bit of a
stupid idea.
Life crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, he's sort of going to court. He's in charge of trafficking. And I get a phone call from him. I could see it come up. I went, he's going to give me a spray, because I got a few of them, after it sort of finished.
So you still keep your phone for a bit after it?
Yeah, just for a bit, yeah. And anyway, he's rung me, and I went, I'll get out of the way. I said, "Hey, Lorenzo, how you going?"
And he knows you're the
He definitely knows now, and that's why I'm going. I'll let him have a spray with me.
Yeah.
Get out of your system. Tell me, call me all the names under the sun. I don't care. It'll make you feel good. But he didn't do that. He was crying straight up. And I said, "Hey, Lorenzo, what are you doing?" He goes, "Just tell my wife and kids, my ex, whatever. But I love them. I didn't mean for any of this, but I can't do this. I'm not going to jail." I could hear what he was saying. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, I said, "Where are you?" He's on the Brisbane River, just over sort of Brunswick Street type sort of area. And I said, "Mate, don't do anything. I'm coming straight over." I was at West End, which is only 10 minutes across the city. And I found him. Yeah, he was standing over looking at it. When I think back now, I knew that he wasn't going to do it. If he waited that long for me, he wasn't going to do it. But my recklessness as well was stupid. That I've grabbed his hand and said, "Mate, thanks for waiting for me. Let's do it. Come on, 1, 2, 3. And he's gone, "I thought you were talking me out of it. What the? And it was a bit of reverse psychology, and it worked. And And then he sort of yanked me back. Anywhere we went to near the end of the edge. No, don't go near there. I thought we were doing it. Anyway, he yanked me back, and we laid on the ground. He was crying, I was crying, and then we sat on a park bench. I told him all about Karen. I obviously didn't tell him while I was undercover. Told him about everything that had happened to me and everything. And I said, you don't want to do that to your family. You really don't.
What a heavy conversation.
Yeah, it was a game changer for me. Where I went home that night, and I don't think I'd cried in a year or so. I bawled for 12 hours straight. It was that one that just made me realise, what the fuck am I doing? I don't want to do that to my family either. I don't want the same as what he is doing to himself. I'm in his position. My family and friends are going to miss me.
He was about to destroy himself.
Yeah.
And you saw that's what you're trying to do to yourself.
Yeah.
And it was a wake-up call.
It was, big time.
That would have been a heavy moment for you.
It was really good. It was all the emotions where I'd been building up, and I just let it all out that night.
That's what you needed to happen.
Yeah. I needed that. I knew. I was on like a steam train that just couldn't be stopped.
Yeah.
And there was no one at the bloody wheel. At this time, he's jumped on the wheel, sort of stopped it for a bit and said, have a think of this.
It's strange the connections you can have in life with people that you have no reason to have that connection, but leave an indelible impression. There's a bloke that you've caught as an undercover cop and, has such a defining moment in your life.
He did go to jail.
Yeah. Well,
but I don't know what he's doing now, but anyway.
Yeah, it's... I would imagine you got to keep your focus on what you're doing. Like I was saying, he's gone to jail. I had Joe Pistone on, who was a real Donnie Brasco, the movie that Johnny Depp played in that everyone knows. He went undercover in the mafia for 5 years, and I asked him about how he kept his because he became friends with all the people that he brought down, and he said, look, he always remembered what he was there for, and it came as a cost, but you've got to hold that moral ground, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I was still pretty much focused on being a cop, but acting very differently.
Yeah.
I never really strayed from that.
Yeah.
Because I did notice that, I was getting all these awards and everything like that, but even though I didn't care about that, I was going, I'm finally good at something. It's not bad.
Right. So okay. So that was stroking your mindset that you are doing something good.
Yeah.
That's the bikie situation when you're in the bikie clubhouse and you're being accused of being a cop and you're wearing a wire. Not a good position to be in.
No.
Tell us what happened there.
Well, it's funny that...
And that was Donnie or Reno?
That was Donnie, Donnie.
Good old Donnie, he's back.
Getting back to Donnie Brasco, I mean, I reckon I watched it 20 times before I went in an undercover. I tried to watch all the undercover movies as I possibly could and just get information, get scenarios, get how did that person deal with it.
Yeah.
And I just kept them in the back of my mind going, you never know, one day I might be able to use them.
He was, I was just so excited about speaking to him. He's a legend in law enforcement for what he did, and just a really chilled, calm type person, as you would expect. And he had some when he finally declared what was going on. Family members of the mafia dudes were reaching out to him, and he just wanted to let you know that he's glad you took him down and stuff like that. Some really heavy stuff. And Michael Francese, who's a mafia dude, had him on the podcast, and I did a tour around the country with him, and he was in the New York Mafia and had crossed paths with Donnie, and I was interested just chatting with him. What's your thoughts on Donnie? And he looks back, and they're older now and wiser, and go, well, he was just doing his job. He did his job very well. We were trying to do our job, but it's interesting how it comes about.
The fella from the Mackay Serena area, the big job I did there, did the same thing. I rang him just before he was going to jail and said, "Do you want to jump on board? Do you want to help out?" He goes, "No, I'll do it. I'll do it myself." But he goes, Oh, you did your job.
Yeah.
No hard feelings, mate. You did a good job too. You got me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good if they're thinking that way.
Yeah.
All right. So in with the bikies.
Yeah. So and that's what I said about the Donnie Brasco book and the movie is, I'd only just watched it that many times beforehand, and it was amazing that I used one of his sayings to get me out of it.
Yeah.
And that's when I look at all the things that I do, it's all these movies and books that I've, well,
Yeah.
how did you get that information? I sort of kept that in the back of my mind for any time you might need something. So, anyways, I was already on another job.
Yeah.
But my controller says, they got another one for you. It's only one night. So, God, okay. What is it? It was a clubhouse down the south side. They're having one of those, invite to all of the local businesses, come in. It's not a closed thing or anything like that. There was strippers, there was, music, there was parties, bikes, cars. Had a flyer, so I just knocked on the door. Really, I didn't know if it was going to be real or not, whether they'll just let me in. I thought the controllers might be talking shit. But they said, we just want to see what's going on in there. Tell us if there's anything illegal, anything overt, right in front of everything.
Yeah.
Is there prostitution, all these sort of things. So I just had to go in there and just have a look. And when I went in there, all I saw was blokes about 6'8". They were massive.
Yeah.
And but they were great fellas. At one stage I was, up the bar with them and trying to get my arms up there around them, and we're just passing the doobie down the bar. Like it wasn't anything. That was the most I saw all night. And then I was over playing pool later. And this is over from 6 p.m. through till 12, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking a fair few stubbies at this time. I had 6 schooners before I went there just to loosen the throat so I could talk a little bit of shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just hanging with different people. You just got to, as an undercover, you just got to go and talk to people.
Yeah.
Don't be in that person sitting in the corner. Pool tables are always a good place for that. So I'm playing pool. I could see this fellow over the corner. I went, oh, I do know him. And he sort of going, hey, Todd. And I go, and I'm not listening. I could sort of half hear it. I knew he was trying to get my attention. Anyway, I stopped playing pool. He sort of come up to me. And he goes, hey, mate, how you going? Good to see you. The fuck are you, mate? Hey, you're Todd, aren't you? And it was one of those things where I went, fucking hell, his music's loud, but
People.
it sounds like I don't want him to say anything. And I go, no, mate, no. He goes, yeah, we played footy together down the Gold Coast. I said, no, I'm from Sydney, mate. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, you're Todd, and you're playing the centres, and I was playing on the wing in reserve grade. I said, oh, well, that's probably why that person would have known, and then he goes, but weren't you a cop then? And that's when it was almost like the music just stopped. It hadn't, but that's what it did to me.
Felt
it just
like
went,
it.
doon, 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 doon. Holy shit, what am I going to do? So I just hit him. Fucking hit him with a beauty. And he laid him out. And then that's when the music stopped. I said, what the fuck's going on over here? And I was going, no, mate, no, I'm out of here. See you later. So I've sort of raced over to the toilet because I was busting for a piss too, knowing that my controller was about a kilometre down the road.
Yeah.
So I've gone in, a little piss. That's when these bikies come in, and I noticed it was the same fellas that I was having a smoke with earlier.
Yeah.
And we'd had a lot of jokes and laughs then. I shit myself a bit, but I thought, no, we've had a bit of rapport up until now, but who knows what could happen. Anyway, they go, hey, what'd you hit my brother for? And I went, who, him? Oh, see your brother, I'm sorry about that, mate. Well, he grabbed me on the cock, mate. He goes, he would not have. I went, yeah, he did. That's why I hit him. I went, and they sort of go, you could tell that sort of thing. I went, gotcha, fucking didn't even know him. We thought he's a faggot too. Thanks for doing that for us. I went, thank fuck.
That was lucky.
And then it was like, there was one fella with a shotty, but I don't reckon it was loaded, but it was just, he must have been taking it somewhere and was carrying it. And he goes, but that fella said you're a cop. I said, no. He said, I grabbed him on the cock. And I was just spitballing, just trying to bamboozle these fellas. And at one stage I said, well, what if I am a cop? Yeah, maybe I am. What are you going to do about it? Actually, I'm Detective Donnie. You're all under arrest. Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
That's what you said to him.
Yeah. And they're going, fuck off, mate, fuck off. I said, have you got your own handcuffs? Because I don't have enough. And I was just making a joke of it. Some were laughing, some were like, whatever. Yeah. And they went, fuck you. You're not even worth the bullets, mate. Fuck. Just something like that. And I remember hearing that as they were leaving. And there was a big practical joke for them. They were pissing themselves, backslapping, fucking, no, we got that little fucker. And I went straight to the door and I ran my fucking ass off.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky to get out of there by the sounds of it. You had a job down in Sydney as well.
Yeah,
and you got a bit of a harbour cruise.
It was, and that was one of the times where I thought I could live like this.
Yeah, that was now you're getting closer to Miami Vice type that you were looking for.
Yeah, and it was right at the end of my 2 years of undercover work. There was like 2 or 3 months left to go, and they said, do you want to start your integration early, or do you want to do this one last job? I went, I always want to do another job. They said, there's something you got to think about this one. It's on cops in New South Wales. And I went, nah, mate, not doing that. They said, do you want to read it first? I went, tell me what it is.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. They got a pill press involved in the Surrey Hills nightclubs, and they're punching pills out and getting the bouncers to distribute them. I went, yeah, they're not cops. Yeah, no. I'll do that. Yeah, it was a bit of an eye-opener coming down here. They did things very differently to Queensland. But yeah, had many good drinks in a lot of the pubs in Darlinghurst, and ended up doing buys. I think we're doing 1,000 pill buys at $23 or something. Did a few of them, but the coppers were always standoffish. There's always this one other fella who was doing all the buys from. And anyway, I got invited over to a boat one night. It was a yacht. It was magnificent. There was TV people there. There was models. It was great. Yeah,
the high end of life.
Yeah, and then I finally got to meet the 2 coppers who were our targets.
Yeah,
and they were sus on me straight away.
What do you think made them sus?
I don't know.
Yeah,
just being coppers. I think they're just one step ahead. I think.
Yeah.
And old mate threw me a bag of pills or something, and I had to go to the toilet. And they must have followed me, and sort of as I was closing the thing, they smashed the door, and all 3 of us were in the toilet, and they're just ripping into me. Who the fuck are you? Go on. Got the pills. I said, mate, they're old mates, mate. They're not mine. They said,
yeah.
No, you're a cop, aren't you? No, fuck no. Well, have a couple.
Yeah.
No. Why not? You're a cop, aren't you? I went, no, give me them then. Fuck you.
Yeah, and took the pills?
So I did. Because there was no way getting out of that cubicle. And, I found out later what those things do to you.
Did it kick in straight away?
No. It was like 30, 40 minutes later, and I didn't know what the hell had hit me.
Then where did you go?
I was still on the boat.
Yeah.
And I went from, someone who was just, being very sociable and had my wits about myself to a fella that couldn't walk properly. He was falling over, jumping in the pools, just doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
Giving everyone sprays. It was like, I was that idiot.
Yeah. Donnie again. Wild times.
Yeah. So sort of as it sort of got a bit better, I kept on telling them that I hung out at this strip joint, and I did.
Yeah.
I used to go to a strip joint most nights, but my sort of mantra was just to be seen. I'm not going there to look at the girls. I'd have my back to them, and that's what I do in my business, and it's just the city underbelly. And anyway, I said, I'll take you there. We'll go to the strip joint. Yeah, okay. Yep. So we've all gone there, plus the coppers, and they just can't wait to see me fucking really lose my shit.
Yeah.
But it didn't get any worse. I just carried on like a pork chop all night. Next thing you know, I'm walking out at 6 or 7 in the morning, the sun. Went back to my unit, played music till about midday. It's like, what a life this is.
Yeah.
And then I went to sleep.
Right.
And I woke up 24 hours later, feeling like so shit, feeling really bad. And that's where I went, I can sort of half see what Karen was feeling there. Like, you feel really bad. Like, it's a real low.
Yeah, and you don't know, I suppose, what part it played in Karen's, taking her own life. But everyone talks about the lows that you get after the highs of drugs, and you just wonder the impact it has on people. So you got down to Sydney. Did anything come of those cops? Were they caught up in any of the?
Well, they were, but I think they eventually got them later.
Yeah.
But when I woke up and I was feeling, the worst person in the world. You regret all these things. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, fuck, I might have fucked this. Yeah, you get a phone call from the Sydney controller.
Yeah.
They're obviously listening to particular phone calls, and they said, yeah, we got that cop, didn't we? That fucking undercover cop, yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, mate, gig's off.
Okay.
Pack your bags, going home.
The alert to it.
Yeah.
When you finally got out of undercover work, how hard was that to go back to real policing?
Yeah, I found that really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was not only times when, I used to say, like, I would have it in my mind to give the cops a hard time as I drove past them or something.
Yeah.
Especially when I was with the crooks. Like, that gave, and they'd go, fucking, look at those fucking.
Stick your fingers up.
Yeah, that sort of shit, yeah. Well, I did it one night, when I wasn't working. And I was just with a group of mates, and my missus come and picked me up.
Yeah.
And as we were driving, it was like someone doing a road traffic job or something. Yeah, I'd hang out the window and gave him the biggest spray in the world. Like, fuck yeah. I don't know why.
You're losing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was doing it. Anyway, he chased me and stopped the car. We almost got into the biggest fight ever because I wasn't backing down, and it was just stupid.
Did you declare that you're a cop?
No.
Just arguing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I finally backed down when he goes, notice to appear, you can go to the watch house and speak to the magistrate tomorrow. I went, okay, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm back down. I said, sorry, mate, shouldn't have done that. Yeah, so that was my attitude then. So, and that was only a couple of weeks before I finished, and it was still not good. And they said, okay, well, you're starting now at Crime Stoppers answering phones. And I go, what? I said, 2 weeks ago.
Is that to help you for a transitional period before they unleash you out in the public?
Yeah, it's in a controlled environment, and ideally is just to get you back into, a structured work environment. 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock. I said, I have not woken up at 8 o'clock in 2 years, my friend. This is not going to be easy.
Oh, sorry, princess.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But all my work was done at night and in the afternoons, No one does drug deals at 8:30 in the morning. So I said, I'll do my best. I'll try my best to get there at a reasonable hour, I think 9:30 or 10 o'clock was my first one, and I was quite proud of myself. And anyway, he goes, you obviously know how Crime Stoppers work. People answer, they dob on people, and then we pass it on to the detectives. Okay. Got the phone calls in, blah, blah, blah. And I had to borrow someone's uniform as well. It couldn't even tuck in. It wasn't ironed.
Yeah.
It was pretty awful.
You're looking messy. Yeah.
And anyway, a fella rings up and he goes, I just want to let you know the next door neighbour's smoking drugs, man. I went, and? The fuck are you calling here for, you fucking dog?
That would have gone over well.
Yeah. And I'm going, mate, don't you know, snitches, if you snitch, mate, this will get you killed. Don't you know the rules about the inside? And I was just ripping into him. Senior sergeant comes over, grabs the phone, gives it to another lady. By this time, I'm still screaming my heart, like, that fucking idiot, what the fuck is he doing? Come for a walk for me down the street, Todd. Let's get some breath there. Just settle down. And I'm still going off 100 metres down the road. He doesn't know the rules, this fuckwit. Anyway, he goes, I might get you to do some filing for a while. Yeah. So I say that because that was my mindset. And it took me a couple of months to get my head around being back normal again.
I would imagine, because it's a completely different lifestyle. It's a loose lifestyle you get to live in the UCs, and then you come back into the regiment of working as a policeman on the streets. And
that's what I was saying. I've gone from living in a high-rise over Hyde Park.
Yeah.
I was driving a BMW, hanging out at strip joints all night, and then buying pills and going on super yacht parties. And now I'm answering phones.
Did you get access to psychologists or professional help? Did that come into play, or did we just kick you out of, or not kick you out of UCs, just you leave UCs? And was it by choice you left the UCs?
Yeah, you only allowed to do 2 years at the time.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave. Didn't want to leave at all.
But it's probably a good thing, because you could perhaps lose yourself in there.
Yeah, I reckon 1 or 2 more years would have been enough.
Yeah. The shame of it is that the longer you stay in, the better you become at your trade.
That's what
because it's a trade, but
it took me 12 months to be okay.
Yeah.
And then 18 months to be, I felt, I'm really confident now. And then 2 years was a lot like, I'm the king, I can do whatever, do anything now. I've got to go.
Did you get any debriefs, or how did they debrief you?
It was just the tick and flicks, you know.
How do you feel?
Do your psychometrics test.
Yes.
Like I did the psychometrics test that many times. I knew what the answers were. And you always knew, you know, coming out of Undercover, do I like a well-written poem or a well-made handgun? What do you reckon I'm going to tick?
Yeah.
Because all the ones where it needed to be of sound and mind, I passed. And I still remember this day. I said, this is my last one.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a real one. Exactly how I feel right now.
Right, okay. How did that score?
Got a phone call straight away. You need to come and see us straight away. That's when. How easy is that? How easy?
I got a call after a welfare check, psychometric testing, that I think one of the questions, do you think people are trying to kill you? And I said yes. And then I get dragged in and go, we're a little bit worried, and you know how they talk, and it's just very calm. We're a little bit worried about one of the answers that you've given, that you believe people are trying to kill you. Why do you think that? Well, that's because they are. And I explain which ones were. And they go, oh, well, that puts it in context.
Yeah. It wasn't make-believe people.
Look, we laugh at it, but we know, and we laugh at it as a bit of a bravado, but we know what you've been through. It's not normal to go through what you've been through. Not just talking about the personal impact that you had in your personal life, the personal problems, but then going into that environment and then coming out and expecting you to be normal. It's like we send people to war and come back now. I want you to integrate back into society. Do you think more could be done?
Heaps more.
What sort of things? How do you think Donnie and Reno could have been tamed and bring Todd back?
Probably genuine care instead of just tick and flicks. You know, you're working a lot closer with us as to how do we see our reintegration go and what we would need to go to all that. It might have been done by now, but you know, in 2003, it wasn't a great deal.
Yeah, well, I think all the law enforcement agencies are getting better at understanding that there's a problem that needs to be addressed. But you say tick and flick, I say tick and flick. That's the thing that annoys cops more than anything. When you know, and this is just a cynical view of ex-cops, but I know it's what we carry. That you felt any welfare checks was just a tick and flick, and you say it, I say it, it's because so the bosses can sign off on, no, we managed Todd's welfare. Yeah. We made a psychologist available to him, and he had an opportunity. Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, the organisation as a whole, you know, do a lot of good things.
Yeah,
A lot of other stuff could be improved. But in relation to undercover work, for me, back then was, you know, there wasn't a great. I still can't believe that they let me in for starters. Like,
yeah, well, I was reading your book, and I could see a few warning signs, but you know, you can't. Undercover work is a specific skill set that you've got, and you're attitude to life was a skill set that served you very well.
I would have been a good asset for them.
In that environment.
Yeah, and I think it took me a while to work out, because I got told numerous times by controllers and other detectives, you're just an investigative tool on my belt.
Yeah.
We'll use that over there. If that doesn't work, we'll use a device. We'll do that. That's how much you mean to us.
Yeah.
Because that's why we got heaps of views. We lose one, we'll put another one in. It was like, oh, that didn't sit well.
That's not good.
No. And undercover officers have always had a quite sketchy past, especially in Queensland. And it's cost the service a lot of money. So, being tarnished with as an ex-undercover didn't do well for your bloody promotional stuff either.
Yeah, well, they had a reputation, but like detectives had a reputation, the whole criminal investigation before Royal Commissions came through and all that, and there was corruption exposed. I think my take on it, there was a lot of corruption outside of the police too. It was a different era.
Yeah.
And, there were people in high places that were involved in it as much. But, I can see the reputation, and I know everyone, when a UC came back into the normal policing, everyone was a little bit wary of a UC. We saw them come back into detectives and different places. But if someone had marked on their career that they'd been a UC, you're sort of looking, okay, what's this bloke or what's this girl about?
Yeah, if I could tell people who are a little bit sus on me, I'd sort of just get my mobile phone and I'd go, do you mind if I just keep it there for a bit, right in front of them?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But that's it's just part and parcel of it, isn't it?
It's just breaking down the barriers.
Because
I'm not doing anything.
That's how you guys get attacked in court too. Because if I'm the defence barrister, the first question I'm asking you, so you're an undercover police officer, yep, and your whole thing that you do, your role is to lie and give a false impression and just attack your credibility. Yeah. You would have had that in the witness box?
Oh, heaps of times, yeah. I talk about it once in the book because I didn't want to go over and over and over. But yeah, definitely, that was always a good way of going, well, how do you know when you're not lying? Yeah. Which one's not a lie? Because your whole world is a lie.
And then the barrister turns to the jury and go, this officer here was paid to lie. And you're now expected to believe what they're saying. Yeah. So that's where the integrity of undercover police work has to, the controller, the documenting, because we've talked about, we'll call it the exciting stuff, but there's a lot of paperwork that goes with it. I would imagine that you've got to keep a log of all your meetings and details of all your meetings. It's not just party time and hanging out with ice heads.
Hours and hours and hours and hours of typing afterwards.
Yeah.
I got at the stage where I didn't talk much anymore during a buy, knowing that I had to transcribe it later.
Okay, I can understand it.
Yeah, because I might have done one last week, and it took me 4 hours to type some stupid conversation that I had that meant nothing.
How have you gone since you're out dealing with your alcohol and drugs and all that? You got that under control? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, I noticed the type of, prior to Karen's death, drinking was a social thing for me.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it became just a source of wrecking me, so I didn't have to feel anything. I don't feel I do that anymore. I go back to social drinking or whatever, and I do notice that when I start carrying on like that, where drinking is not enjoyable, it's an anger thing, especially my wife now. So that's why the name's Donnie. And ever since Undercover, whenever PTSD sort of nips at my ankles and my wife can see it, she'll go, hey, you all right? I can see a bit of Donnie coming back in. So it became the analogy of...
I can imagine that would be a good way of reining you in each time. Yeah. What, are we Donnie now?
Yeah.
And that's...
It was enough for me to go, okay, something's going on, and then I'll just really check myself, work out what was going on.
Your partner, now wife and mother of your child, Peter, She knew you during this period of time. She must be a very understanding woman.
Yeah, I know.
Or she might see something in you that others don't.
Yeah, I know. And I keep asking, and I still don't know what it is. But yeah, she's been bloody awesome for me.
I get the sense that what you put your family through and Peter at different times, having them stand by you would have made the difference.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like Peter can almost, because I told her a lot.
Yeah.
She can basically say, "Oh, I remember you telling me that. I remember you telling me that."
Yeah.
And I'd even go back to my diaries and double check. Yeah. But she was through the whole time. There was times where I'd ring her just before 30 minutes before I'd go and do a buy up north. And I'll ring her 30 minutes afterwards.
Yeah.
So if you don't hear from me, something's bad's happened.
Yeah.
And I hated to do that, but that's what she wanted to hear. So.
Yeah, I can understand. Well, that's another cost that comes for the work that you do as an undercover, your family and your partner and everyone else that when I was disappear.
Sort of still a boyfriend, girlfriend, I had a weekend off and I said, let's go up the Sunshine Coast and just have a bit of downtime. Mm. But one of those phone calls that comes through that you've been waiting for months and months.
You've got to take it.
It's the big one. Mm. I'm flying some drugs from up north down to Caboolture with you, for you, in my own plane. I said, okay, nice. I'll meet you at this pub. It's like, I'm on the road driving up the coast with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he's going, but I've got this big bit for you here.
Yep.
And if I said no, never hear from him again. I said, okay, Pete, you just stay in the car. And I'm going in the pub. I've got to do what I've got to do. I'm coming out. And she was just like, I can't believe I'm doing this. She had never done anything like that in her life. She was shitting herself.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just so normal. But
well, you get desensitised to it, don't you?
I said, I'm just going in to get a couple of pounds,
Yeah. The career that you've had after, you found some peace in the policing because you stayed in for a long time after the undercover work.
Yeah.
And you've been retired, what, 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
3 years?
Yeah.
So you got in detective work, you enjoyed it and satisfaction from that?
Yeah. I as soon as I finished my 6-month reintegration,
yep,
I went straight into crime operations in headquarters and started my detective training there, and I went to flying squad and then property crime.
Yep.
And then that's when around the 2004 or 5 was where the baby was coming along.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I've got to stop travelling.
Got to grow up.
Got to stop travelling, yeah.
Because
those other ones I was still away for 10 days, back for 4.
Takes an impact, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I thought to myself, I've been living out of a suitcase for 4 years now. Mm. I've got to slow down. So I took a job at Fortitude Valley CIB.
Yeah.
Which meant I was home every day, home every night, normal. Mm. But it was almost like I was sitting on the train with all the other office Johnnies, and it was like I was hating every minute of it, going, I'm not like these people. Yeah. But I was convincing myself that I was going to be. And, I was liking it.
Yeah.
But what I noticed was, Donnie needed to be let out every now and then just to keep me sane type thing. Because I was feeling too caged up type thing, yeah.
Your path has been, it's had its highs and lows, but you seem to be in a good place now. Any regrets?
No. You never regret anything in my books.
Yeah.
The decisions you make at the time were the right ones. You can't look back now and go, I shouldn't have done that. It is what it is. Yeah. I've learnt from it. I've done a lot of silly things, a lot of stupid things. But that's life, eh? I can't change it.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Well, it's not a bad way, and you got to accept yourself and love yourself, and think, okay, I did my best.
I was a pretty confident kid, sporting bloke. Up until 2000, I probably had a bit of a strut in me stride, and thought I was a little bit hot shit. So it certainly did bring me down a fair bit.
Yeah.
And for ages, I was sort of thinking to myself, why did this happen to me? Was it karma? Was there something I did really bad that deserved it? Was it was it something I had to be taught? I don't know. What am I supposed to learn from it was one thing that I got. And I kept on coming up with nothing. None of this makes sense. I don't understand. And so it's sort of, for a while I had to sort of go, I noticed my confidence was just shot. I was so shot. Like, I remember just talking to people and I couldn't look in their eyes and my bottom lip would quiver and I felt like I was crying every time I had to speak to someone. And I hated it. And I went, okay, I've got to stop this. And I kept on, I was always hard on myself, going, this is not like me. This is not me. This is something that's happened to me that's causing me to be like this. So I just started trying to convince myself, you got to start loving yourself again. Yeah. Because I was pretty good at it before that.
Yeah.
Well, I was pretty confident,
Yeah, with the book, and that would have been therapeutic for you, I would awesome. Imagine.
Yeah.
Getting it all out there.
Yeah, just writing that first shitty copy, they call it. Just blur. It was just straight work, first one to the end. I don't think there was any full stops or anything. Just let it out. Yeah. Because that's what I said. Just get it all out and then we could put it all in the right places.
Okay.
I didn't want to stop because I kept on ringing my editor. I said, when do I stop? I got so many stories.
Well, it's...
she said, yeah, stop now.
Donnie, An Undercover Cop with a Death Wish by Todd Maguire. It was a good read. I enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed having our chat today. Thank guests that have done their public service and worked as cops. So thank you for the service you've done for the community, and thanks for coming on I Catch Killers. And I hope you have a good future.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Enjoyed
it.
the
Loved
chat.
it. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.